Donald Trump has gutted the RNC. How's it going, guys? Welcome back to UnwokeThoughts. Yes, Donald Trump is officially cutting the bureaucracy at the RNC after Ronna McDaniels stepped down. Michael Whatley was elected as the new RNC chair, and Trump's daughter-in-law, Lara Trump, actually was elected as co-chair. But today, the new leadership has let go more than 60 RNC staffers, and this is great news. This is fantastic news because the RNC was bloated, and quite frankly, they were spending money on things that they should not be spending money on, and they have absolutely zero to show for it.
And Brett, just moments ago, Fox News was able to confirm that Donald Trump's new leadership team over at the RNC began cutting dozens of staffers from their positions. It appears a major shakeup now underway at the RNC following Lara Trump's recent ascension to RNC co-chair.
But the RNC is now pivoting to become an organization that will focus a substantial amount on election integrity. And, I think this is very important. I think a lot of you guys think this as well, because right now, we kind of have two forces that are competing. One side is saying, well, there's no fraud. You're crazy. You're a conspiracy theorist. Well, where's the fraud? Look at all these polls. Look at all these studies that have been done on, the fraud, and it's not there. And the other side is saying, no, listen, elections are very important. There's a lot of odd things that are going on with our elections today. So we need to make sure that they are secure. And one side wants the elections to be secure. The other side is saying, oh, no, don't look over there. Don't worry about these things. There's nothing to see. There's nothing to see here. But Donald Trump and his team are going to be starting to focus on election security, election integrity. But listen to Lara Trump here talk about their plans for the future of the RNC.
Voter ID requirements. That was Attorney General Merrick Garland vowing last weekend that the Department of Justice will confront any state that implements tougher election security measures, including rules to show your ID. In Houston on Friday.
Okay. Hold on for a second. I got to interject right here. So we got the Department of Justice that is going after states who require voters to show ID. I wonder why they are doing that. Why are they so worried about states that are wanting to require their citizens to show an ID to vote? Guys, I don't think I have to get into this one too deeply for you to get what these people are doing. They always act like this is some sort of moral quandary. Like, why would we make these people show ID? Some of these people, they can't even use the internet. And you're wanting them to show ID to vote? Listen, if you don't know how to use the internet, if you don't have a driver's license, if you don't have all the basic things that an American citizen should have, should you really be voting? If you ask me personally, I don't think so. I want an informed populace. I want informed people to vote. And if you're going through life without a driver's license, not even being able to access internet and all these basic necessities, me personally, I don't want that type of person voting to begin with, because ultimately we are electing leaders that will form and shape our country. And if these people are just voting willy-nilly, they don't have any sort of information at all, they're not informed, I think that's a huge red flag. But let's continue this.
National Committee elected Michael Whatley to replace Ronna McDaniel as chairman and Lara Trump as co-chair. Both received the endorsement of former President Trump, who told me exclusively in an interview last month at Mar-a-Lago that changes were coming to the RNC leadership, and certainly they have. Joining me right now is the woman herself, the new co-chair of the RNC, Lara Trump, who begins day one on Monday, tomorrow. Lara, great to see you. Congratulations.
Thank you so much, Maria. I really appreciate it.
What is your priority leading the RNC right now?
Well, you just heard from the top law enforcement officer in the country, Merrick Garland, that he doesn't want voter ID anywhere, that he wants to basically give access, as I just heard from him, to anyone, whether they are legally able to vote or not. That is a huge problem. We have three pillars that we need to focus on at the RNC to ensure victory on November 5th. Turn out the vote, protect the vote, and raise money. But I would argue that maybe the most important of those three is protecting the vote, election integrity. We have to ensure that when people go vote, they feel like their vote counts, that they are inspired to go vote. We can never allow what happened in 2020 and the questions surrounding that election to ever happen again. So I'll tell you right now what is already underway at the RNC. We have, for the first time ever, an election integrity division. This means vast resources dedicated solely to this cause. We are going to have, and we've already started working on, And I'll tell you Monday, we're going to expand all of it. A nationwide network of volunteers, whether it's poll watchers, trained poll workers. These are people who can physically go in, count ballots that are coming in, know how many are coming in, how many are going out, volunteer and paid attorneys. If you are an attorney who wants to volunteer, we want you. DonaldJTrump.com, GOP.com. Please come volunteer. And we currently have 78 lawsuits out right now in 23 states across this country to make it easier to vote and harder to cheat. And here's what I want to say to anyone out there who is thinking about cheating in an election. We will go after you. You will be prosecuted to the full extent of the law. It is not worth it. Every person in this country, Maria, whether you are Republican or Democrat, should want free, fair, and transparent elections. That's what we're going to focus on.
Well, look, you just heard AG Garland. You are going to be fighting up an uphill battle because they do not want voter IDs. He said he's going to vow to stop states that have voter IDs. And you have to question whether or not this is about the 10 million illegals who have come into this country on Joe Biden's watch. I had a friend the other day tell me she was standing at a food truck. Two gentlemen approached her. One had tattoos all over his face. They looked like illegals, she said. And one had a clipboard, and he said to her, "Hello, miss, do you want to sign up to become a Democrat and vote?" So you're talking about people that you want to hire. They're already doing that. And they may be doing it with illegals coming into this country.
Yeah, well, you do have to ask yourself, why would you not want something so basic like voter ID? And I think you're right. People say, why do we have a fully open southern border? Why is it you are willing to allow fentanyl to pour over and kill 100,000 Americans a year? Why is it you're allowing 169 people on the terror watch list last fiscal year to come over? And I think the only thing people can figure is that the Democrats are bleeding and hemorrhaging voters. They understand that they cannot fool people in this country any longer, so they have to import people. And the only reason you wouldn't want voter ID is if you want people who cannot vote to vote in these elections. It is insane. But it's exactly the reason, Maria, that this is our number one focus at the RNC. You know, you look at things like ballot harvesting. This is a tactic that the Democrats have used for decades. We are going to have a legal ballot harvesting operation at the RNC. It is already underway, and we will expand it again starting on Monday, starting next week when we are in that office. I can guarantee you that over the next 8 months, you are going to see things happen at the Republican National Committee unlike you have ever seen before, because this is a must-win election. If Donald Trump is not elected on November 5th of this year, I do not believe we have the same country on the other side. If these people are able to use their communist tactics like they have to try and stop this one man, if they are able to continue to destroy this country, we'll never get it back. So we are laser focused. We're ready to go, and we're ready to work hard.
I mean, is it too late already? The Democrats' machine is ongoing and has been on. Remember what Kamala Harris, the vice president, said the other day? She says now they're going to pay people to come out and get engaged into voting. She said government, and this is all taxpayer dollars. People should understand this is your money being used to pay college students to register voters. She said college students could soon earn money for registering other voters right now. They'll receive money through the Work Study, a federal program that pays most of students' wages while employed at a part-time job. Taxpayer money.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. Imagine Donald Trump using taxpayer money to influence the outcome of an election when he was president. People would have gone berserk over it. But this is very, very problematic. It's not too late. I think that what we have to understand right now is that every tool in our war chest we have to bring out, because they are desperate. They are floundering. They are trying to sell a product to the American people in Joe Biden that they don't want. Look at the polling between Joe Biden and Donald Trump. If the election were held today, Donald Trump would win handily, no problem, hands down. We have to ensure that over the next 8 months, we get people out to early vote, we ballot harvest like nothing we've ever seen, and we ensure that every person who is legally able to vote can do so, and anyone who legally is not able to vote cannot do so. We have to protect that vote once it's in, and that is how we are going to win on November 5th.
All right, guys, sorry for the long clip, but that really got me fired up. I thought it was important, but what was the RNC doing before Lara Trump and Michael Whatley? What were they doing? Losing elections. But this is just common sense stuff, making sure our elections are secure. While Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, they're literally paying college students taxpayer money to go out and register and get Democrat voters. And then, yes, all of these illegal immigrants. Guys, it's just very dark what is going on right now, because I think what she said was very important when she said that the Democrats are literally hemorrhaging voters right now. What are they going to do? What is their strategy? They have to turn to extreme measures, like making sure voter IDs are not required in states. And I have not heard one justification for that makes any sense whatsoever. The only justification I really ever hear about why we should not require IDs to vote is this idea that somehow minorities don't have access to IDs. And it's such a weak justification. I don't know one person who doesn't have a driver's license. I've never met anyone, as far as I know, that doesn't have a driver's license. And the idea that there are these vast swaths of people out in the United States that just don't have IDs. And if there are, and I don't think there are, I think this is a complete lie, but if there are, those people, in order to vote, should be required to get an ID so we know that our elections are secured. But guys, what do you think about this? What do you think about Donald Trump cutting all this bureaucracy out of the RNC and focusing on voter and election integrity? What do you think about that? Do you think it's as important as I think it is? I think it's one of the most important things today. And what do you think about the Department of Justice, Merrick Garland, going after states who are requiring voter ID? What do you think about that? Is that as dirty as it sounds? But let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. Like and subscribe to my channel. I would really appreciate it. But until then, I will see you on the next one.